Steel Magnolias. The original Peaches, excellent. I cry every time. Let's see. So that was 5. Flowers in the Attic would be 6. I love the original Scream movie. I don't know why. It's just one of my favorites. I could just watch it over and over. Let's see. Hi, Evie. Hi, kitty, kitty. What you doing? What you doing, kitty, kitty? Mama's talking about her favorite movies. Yeah. The Greatest Showman. My mom and I watched that movie together. It's the last one. We sat down and watched together fully. I'm trying to, picture the shelf and see if I'm forgetting anything, and I know that I am. But you can see that my tastes run towards musicals, TV shows, Vampire Girl all the way, starting way, way back for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I remember, spoiler alert, when Angel died, and I was in 7th grade, and I sobbed my daggum heart out. And then the season premiere of the next season was on my birthday, and I remember she was dreaming and Angel was there, and I was like, oh, and then it wasn't him, and I was really, really upset. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer I have watched so many times. Just ask Sean. Smallville, because I love Superman so much. Vampire Diaries, Grey's Anatomy, the originals. Hello, Elijah Michelson. Hello. Outlander goes towards books as well. Let's say we're running down my bookshelf. Outlander, PC Cast's House of Night, Sweep by Kate Tiernan, Sherry Lynn Kenyon's Dark Hunters, Christine Vian's Carpathians, Pretty Little Liars. I'm trying to picture the shelf as I'm going down it. I have the After series by Anna Todd, Court of Thorn and Roses. I read that when it was just book 1. Oh my goodness. Fourth Wing, I'm still, and if anybody else wants to talk about it, please email me. Still in a Fourth Wing slump. I cannot. Those books, my lord. The one girl that I talk about books with at my job actually finished her degree as a massage therapist, so she's not been working with me, and she won't read series until they're finished. So I have no one to talk about Fourth Wing with, so email me, seriously. Let's see. Book-wise, Divergent, Hunger Games, Harry Potter. I like the Harry Potter movies too, of course. Not a J.K. Rowling fan. Not gonna get into it. If you know, you know. But I still love Harry Potter. It brought such a magic to my childhood that was really hard to find growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, just saying. I skipped school to see the second movie in theaters. I was in high school, but I went with a group of my friends. So anyway, Flowers in the Attic series. I have those in first edition hardback that I found at the thrift, and they are some of my favorites. I also have to include Goosebumps by R.L. Stine. I'm trying to get all of those. I have been thrifting them for So, and they left out of New Orleans, which is like vampire capital of America. And again, I wasn't invited. Anyway, I hope he's having a good time. I was telling Sean yesterday that I was hoping he was having a good time, and then thinking about like what Sean and I would do on a cruise ship. Now, Sean will never go on a cruise, okay? He is not afraid of water per se, but he's afraid of what's in the water, like the stuff he can't see. So he would never ever go on a cruise with me. But we don't really drink, and we don't really like gamble. I guess there are like casinos and stuff on some of the ships. We're not gonna do any of that, so I don't know what we would do on a cruise ship other than eat and swim. And I don't really need any help eating, so anyway, yes, there are many places I would like to travel. My dog is crying. Sean's not gonna go get her either. Maybe he will. Many places I would love to travel. If we're in the United States, I would say, okay, let me think. California. I want to go to Universal Studios and Disneyland and the Winchester Mystery House, which is, we'll talk about more of that in a second. I want to go to Washington, D.C., not right now, but I want to go to the Smithsonian. I want to go to Paris and New York because I always told my mom I would take her there when I was older, and now I'm older and she's not here. Let's see. I want to go to Hawaii, but Sean will never go because, again, surrounded by water. As far as the United States goes, that's pretty much it. If we're going outside of the United States, there are many, many places, probably none that I will go. Ireland, Scotland, I want to go to Japan, England. There's, my first name is Shannon, so Irish, Scottish. My mom was German. My last name is distinctively Irish, so I would love to do that. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, so I would love to go to Japan for the Pokemon aspect of things. I would love to go to more countries, but I'm a really, really, really picky eater. Much less so than I used to be, but still really picky. Sean just laughs at me. Okay, so when I was with my ex, the one I call Captain Crazy Face, I only ate out at like 3 different restaurants, and that was it. And it frustrated him to no end, and I totally understand that because we just didn't have a lot of options, and I am not one that's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll try it, sure, yeah, let's go. I'm not that girl. I go to the same restaurants and I order the same thing every time, and anytime that I change my mind, I get disappointed. Now, I definitely eat more places now. After he and I broke up, I kind of tried to turn myself into what I call a yes man. I went an entire year where anytime someone asked me if I wanted to go do something, or anytime that I wanted to go do something, I said yes. I wanted to build up new foundations for myself. I learned to go to different restaurants. I learned to sit by myself in a restaurant and eat and have no problems with it. Some people I know will still not do that. I don't give a crap. I'm gonna read my book. So I learned that I'm not as codependent as I thought I was. There were would love to know which famous crime scene or place a disaster took place / haunted place would I like to visit. So, I mentioned the Winchester Mystery House. I am going to go there someday. Someday I'll go to California and hit Disneyland and Universal and the Winchester Mystery House. The Winchester Mystery House I covered on my channel way back, if I remember, because I didn't the first time I uploaded this. I'll try to link it down below the video that I did, but you'll have to forgive me because it is way back when my camera was still super fuzzy, and so probably not the best quality. Just listen to me, don't watch me. Let's see what else. I want to see the Stanley Hotel. My niece went there last year or the year before and brought me back a rock, which I have right over there. And I'm a rock collector. I'm a nerd. We know this. Let's see. The Stanley. I just had something else in my head and it went. Oh my goodness. The Lollery House in New Orleans in general. I want to see, Marie Laveau's grave. I want to see the Lollery House. I want to see Anne Rice's house. I want to go on the vampire tours. There's so much stuff I want to do there. And then, the originals is set there, so I love that show, and I'm gonna run into Elijah, and he's gonna make me a vampire. Right, okay. So, yes, there's not a specific, crime scene place that I want to go. I am not what I describe as, a looky-loo. I've seen, the Exorcist house here in St. Louis. I've been to the Limp Mansion, also in St. Louis, and done, they call it a flashlight tour, but they don't even give you flashlights. They give you cameras with, infrared sensors. So I've done that, and that was quite interesting. And I have a ton of pictures of that with a million orbs in them. So I would like to do something like that again. That would be really cool. Let's see. You guys are so funny. You asked me, this is the channel. The video is talking about netball, and you guys are telling me all about netball. Let's see. Favorite true crime channels. So, if we're going ASMR wise, I have to go with Crochet and Crime, Dutch Sparkle ASMR, of course, True Crime Time ASMR, and I still love Letty at the Mystery Theory and Haley the Empress ASMR. And let's see. My dog is crying, and of course, Sean is just not. He's not Shawning today. He's slacking. I feel like I'm missing someone. I don't actually watch a great deal of true crime ASMR anymore. I watch Nicole's videos, on Mondays and Thursdays, but not a lot of content creators put out true crime anymore, and I get it, 110%. It's a really, really hard kind of niche to be in. If we're not talking ASMR, then I would have to go with Lawyer Lee, who I discovered her during the Delphi trial. She actually drove there and went into the trial every day have like topics I'm really, really interested in, and I end up going to research it myself because I cannot listen to the voices of some of those things. So you have to let me know down below what the good channels are. And then you asked any good documentaries that I've watched lately. So last night I watched Unknown Number on Netflix, and I have got to tell you, the twist at the end of that was like, what in the world just happened? I went and got my hair done today, and I was talking with the girl that does my hair, and she was like, yeah, I did not see that coming. And then we were talking about it, and the other girl at the salon was like, stop, I fell asleep. So it's going around, and you'll definitely have to let me know if you watched it and you enjoyed it. It's not so much like nobody died, but it is a true story, and it's a documentary. So I recently watched the JonBenet Ramsey one on Netflix, the Who Killed JonBenet, and I learned a lot of stuff about that case that I didn't know, which I'm surprised about because I've been obsessed with that case since it happened. I also watched Catching Their Killer, the Delphi murders on Hulu, and my coworker watched that one too. It's only like 3 episodes, and we talked about that for like days at my job, that case, and I really am still undecided as to whether or not Richard Allen is the perpetrator in that case. Let's see. I watched that one, JonBenet. I usually don't go for documentaries, I think, because yeah, you're on my mouse, full pics. I think because I'm constantly researching true crime. I don't want to also watch the true crime, if that makes sense. So sometimes I just watch fluffy stuff. Let's see what else we have. Oh, okay. I need some advice. Maybe you can help if you have any experience with this. What would you do if you were concerned about a friend / coworker's drinking, and I'm not sure to handle it? How to handle it? Okay, well, it's been 2 months, so if it were me, I would just stay out of it. And the reason I say that is because unless they are hurting themselves or other people, people tend to get really upset when other people try to make judgments on their life. And I think that there's no possible way that you could approach this topic without them feeling that way. Like, you might not be judging their drinking habits or how much they're drinking. You might just be worried that they're doing it for other reasons, or they need help with something, or they're covering something up, or, whatever. But they're not going to see it that way. And you may lose your coworkership or your friendship over it. And unless they're harming themselves or someone else, it's not worth it. And hopefully everything is okay with that situation. Let's see. I know, right? So that is all the actual questions on that. Sorry, I'm going around a cat now. Oh, you. And then there were a couple in my post. I haven't done one in a long time, so I thought that you guys would have more questions. But that's okay. Write comments. La, 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 la. My summer favorites from being a kid, a teen, and now. And you have circled around to loving popsicles. I still love popsicles. There are popsicles in my fridge right now. I always have them in case I get sick, like if I have a sore throat. My mom used to freeze Kool-Aid for me and then get it out when it was still sort of slushy-ish. I actually had walking pneumonia a couple of times as a kid, and I had strep throat 3 times in high school. And so that was one of the things that I always wanted. When I was a kid, I was always outside it or something. But my mom always used to say, if you can't find Shannon, she's out in the tree or on the roof, because I would climb the tree and get on the roof, and that's where I was all the time. Luckily, I never had any bad accidents from the tree or the roof. I, in fact, did not break a bone until I was 30 years old and in a motorcycle accident. Never again. Let's see what else we got here. How do you research your cases and how long does it take? So, I watch a lot of YouTube, and if I see a video that is lengthy or something I've not heard of before, usually I'll screenshot it, and I have this list, and I use Google Docs for all my stuff, and I'll go through the list, and I'll pick a name, and I'll put it in the search bar, and I will just read and read and read and read all the credible articles I can find. And then what I do is I just kind of piece them together into my own words, and I try to get every single detail, and that's why I read so many different articles. Sorry, my neck is hurting. I slept all hunched over last night, so I look like I got twitches or something. But I read so many articles because even if it's just one line, if it's verified data, and it's the only article that says she lit up a room when she walked in it, then I want that information. But I always try to break it down and put it in my own words as much as possible. Excuse me. It's my bedtime. It's 9 o'clock. And give you guys, I always feel like it is my job to make the victims real people, because I think sometimes life is so violent and we hear about so much that sometimes you forget that what you're listening to is actually like the truth. And I want to paint a picture in your mind of this person and their life before I start talking about the terrible things that have befallen them. And I understand some people's anger at the ASMR community doing true crime, but I have to say that it really helps me, so I can't stop doing it. So, alright. We are 30 minutes in, and that was all the questions that I had. So I'm also going to give you a life update, ramble-y stuff. So I'm pretty sure that I have not given you guys any sort of ramble video here on the channel since my mom passed away. I may have done one over the Halloween time, but last year's pretty blurry. The only thing that I can really tell you is last year, and by last year I mean 2024, we ended up with a bunch of cats. So we got one this year, so we have 5 total. There's one right here, you just can't see her. And they all have like geeky or fantasy names. So first we got Evie. She was just in the scene earlier, and she is a gray and white tabby, and we got her in October of 2023. is supposed to be Sean's baby, and he is my child. He is such a sweet little cat, and I just cannot describe to you how much I didn't know I was a boy mom until I got Anubis. Because I have had Lucy for years, and she's a girl, and I never understood the term boy mom, and I know he's a cat, but my gosh, I love that little thing so much. Now, I'm not going to tell you I don't love the other ones, because I do. Anubis is like a little chatty Cathy, and he does this thing we call uppies. So he'll come up to me, and he puts his little paws up on my waist, because that's as far as he can reach, and he lets out this little meow. And so I pick him up, and I hold him, and he puts his little head on my arm, and he just sits there and purrs. He will not let Sean pick him up. When Sean picks him up, he's like arms straight, toes spread. Now Sean carried this little tiny kitten, because he was like 8 weeks when we got him. He didn't even fit in a sock. He was so small that he got cold, so we like cut a sock to keep him warm, and it was bigger than he was. Okay, Sean carried him everywhere because he wasn't big enough to go up the steps. Now he won't let Sean carry him at all. He doesn't sleep with Sean. He will cuddle him, okay? But Sean is so sad because Anubis was supposed to really be his cat. And then, so I wanted Anubis at first, and we took him in like a room, and he wanted nothing to do with us. We were in there with him for, I don't know, 45 minutes or something. And it wasn't that he hid from us like he was scared. He just wasn't interested in us. So I was like, okay, well, there's a bunch of cats out there. Let's go, let's keep looking. So we actually went across the hall to the, like, older cat kitten room where it wasn't the baby kittens. And then we didn't find anybody that we fell in love with, so we came back. And as we came back, Anubis, who wasn't Anubis at the time, he was Trinket, stuck his little paws out of the cage and was like screaming bloody murder, and he grabbed on to Sean, and we have both, it's like a core memory that we will never forget. So we decided to take him back out and play with him some more, and the lady came in and she's like, it's only $20 more if you take 2. And I was like, oh, good Lord. And so I said, I want the long-haired one. There was like 8 kennels. Like, they're not kennels, but they're I don't know, they're square cages. They're big enough. But at the very top one, on the top right-hand side, there was a batch of kittens. I can't remember how many. And back in the back corner, just super chill, was a all black, long-haired kitten. And I said, I want to hold that one. And so Sean brought him to me, and he was just as tiny as Anubis, and he put him in my hand, and I actually have this picture. I think I'm wearing this shirt in the picture too. That's funny. And he curled up, and he started purring, and he went to sleep. And that is how we got Thackeray Binks, my black long-haired cat, who's at the other end of the table sleeping right now. Binks is what I call my little guardian. He sleeps at the end of my bed every single night. He suckles on my fingers. He's done that since we first got him, which makes me feel bad because that means that he was probably taken from his mother too early. But I don't know what happened, so I don't mind, and it doesn't hurt except when he needs me with his needle-like claws. So we had the 4, and we were doing really good, and we had them for about a year, and we went to PetSmart for something, don't even remember what, and we saw another medium-haired cat. She's black and white, and she was still is super small, and she was just like purring so loud I could hear her through the glass, and she was making biscuits, and she was rubbing the glass, and for whatever reason I just could I sit down, she's on my lap. If I go in the bedroom and lay down, she's on me. Now, she doesn't stay, like, she'll leave, but she has really, like, Anubis hardly ever comes in my room anymore because Kyrie is there. Like, last night, he was like, nope, this is my mama. And he, like, growled at her. He growled at Lizzy, too, but, so, and Vulpix used to play fetch, and she doesn't anymore very often. She tried today, but it was with, like, a piece of plastic. And I can't really throw that very far. So things are different. We got Kyrie in May. Yes, May. So we're still, I know it's August, but we're still all settling in. I think she's kind of a bully. And she just kind of pushes the other cats out of the way to get what she wants, even though she's the smallest. They said that she's 2, so technically she's the oldest, but and she must be, she hasn't gotten any bigger, but she's almost like a tiny munchkin cat. So alright, that's like 10 minutes of me talking about my cats. So that is the biggest life update around here in the geeky homestead. Now, in March, I really went through a rough time, and my patrons know quite a bit about this, but I'm not going to go into detail here on the channel. I will just say that on March 18th, my oldest nephew was arrested, and he is still September 4th, sitting in the county jail. He has met his public defender just one time, and they offered him a 20-year plea deal. He did not take it, so he will probably, oh, my tummy is growling, be going to prison. My light just shut off and all sorts of stuff. Okay. But I don't know when or how that's gonna work out.
Bluetooth mode.
Sorry. I don't know when or how any of that's gonna work out. And I don't actually know the whole truth as to what happened. So even if I wanted to tell you, I couldn't. Now, that was really, really hard for me. Obviously I can still talk to him. I did get to talk to him on the phone the other night when my sister was over, and I can send him like emails and he can email me back, but it was kind of a grieving process, grieving for his life. You know, he's still alive, but it will never be the same, and that makes me extremely sad because he's a good kid, and you know, bad stuff happens to good people sometimes, and this is really going to change the trajectory of his life, and I hate that a lot. So my sister is also going through it because they have never spent, I think, more than 5 days apart ever since he's been born, and he's, oh my gosh, he was born in 99. His birthday's next month, so 26, yeah, whatever. And she has another son who's younger than him, like a year younger, and he is going to move into my other nephew's bedroom, so my sister has been packing things up and moving things around, and that has made her emotional for the past week or so, and I totally get it. And I just don't have the right words to friends for a long, long time. So I am extremely excited that she will be there alongside me, and I do not have to walk into this practice as a new kid all by myself. I'm a little nervous about it, but I think it could be a good thing. They sure took their sweet time in telling us that we were hired. My very first phone interview with them was June 9th. They did not actually tell me I was hired until August 22nd. I kid you not, submitted my background check 3 times in the last 2 weeks because for whatever reason something keeps messing up, and I have to have that and finish the onboarding before I start on Monday. Just ignore my wild hair, okay? And so far, I checked it a little bit ago, still not in my email for me to do, so we'll see. Oh my gosh, Woolpix, you just got hair everywhere, sweet little baby girl. So that brings to the computer that I was talking about. This is a new computer. I was able to purchase it from my job. It literally has all of my stickers and stuff still on it, like it says it's computer 11 up there, and what numbers I put in for cash, credit, and checks. I don't know why I haven't taken them off yet. Sentimental, I guess. But he was kind enough to sell it to me. Now it's not new, and he was, very nice on the price, but it is better than my laptop, except for the fact that I'm still working on the settings. I did also purchase a camera with my last, it was on my vacation time that I either got paid for or lost, so I found another camera on Amazon that wasn't terribly expensive, and it is due to arrive tomorrow, so you may see a different look on Sunday, both on the channel and on Patreon. Let's see, what else has been going on? I have been on a real health journey for the last year. When my mom passed, it was hard, and anyone who has been through a traumatic event like that, if you go into a depression, as I did, you probably, much like me, did one of 2 things. You either ate your feelings, or you did not eat at all. And I have been on both sides of this spectrum in prior times in my life. This time, I ate my feelings, and you can tell. Now, I am trying to get that weight off of me. I have made some distinct changes in the last year, and I do think this new office will help as well. I don't snack anymore. I don't eat the things that the reps bring in. I don't eat potato chips. I don't purchase potato chips. I don't eat the chocolate. I don't eat ice cream. Donuts are my weakness. I don't eat donuts anymore. Needless to say, that really hasn't made a lot of the weight come off. I tried calorie counting, and my problem is always that I am under what I should be, so my body just doesn't have enough fuel. I am like my mother. I'm a grazer, and I don't eat a lot at one time. I barely ever finish my plate unless it's like Olive Garden. But in that case, like when the reps would bring in food, I would never go back for seconds anymore. Like I used to go back for more pasta or whatever. I don't do that anymore. I don't eat past a certain time of night. I only have a soda in the morning. I drink water all day. I really just need to exercise, and I'm codependent, as we've discussed already, and I need an exercise buddy, and Sean is really not interested in that, which is fine. I got my labs done at the beginning of this year. I really should have done it again before my insurance termed, and I am considered Lucy was diagnosed with doggy dementia. Now, I know that some people are going to criticize me for this, but her veterinarian and I are working very hard to make sure that she is living her best life. Now, she will be 18 years old next month. I mean, she's already 18 technically, but I always say her birthday's Halloween because that's when I got her. She was 8 weeks old, so this month sometime. Last month, September. And, we have her on a regimen of medicine right now that is doing really, really well. I did get some flack at work. Like, one of the girls was like, well, don't you think you should just put her to sleep? The veterinarian that I have is the one that saved her life 4 years ago when she had all those seizures. And I really, really trust her. But not only that, but she is a palliative care veterinarian, and her mother has early onset Alzheimer's, and we dementia bonded way back 4 years ago with Lucy's seizures, and she has promised to tell me if I just don't see that it is time. She is still Lucy, not the vet, eating and drinking normally. She is still playing. She is still wagging her tail. She can still get around the house. She knows where her food is. She knows where her water is. She knows that when she goes outside, it's time to potty. She just gets a little anxious at night. And it was those characteristics that made me take her to the vet in the first place. So she's on a good regimen, and we're going to just kind of sit with this for a while and see what happens. I am thankful every day for every extra day I get with her. So I'm going to round this video out if you're still awake or still listening or back for the 5th time, like I do, by saying thank you. I cannot tell you guys how much I appreciate each and every single one of you. One of my subscribers said in a video not long ago that she couldn't believe how much my subscribers cared about me. And there are a great deal of times when I cannot either. I will tell you guys that filming for you guys really helped me through the last year and some change. It made me get up. It made me take a shower. It made me focus on something other than the fact that I lost my mother and that I didn't know what to do. One of you guys said to me once that you were extremely afraid of the gap that you would have in content when my mom did pass away, and I was determined not to let that happen, and so I used it. And if you guys were not the kind, gracious, amazing, caring people that you are, I would not feel that way. I recognize your names. I see you in the comments. Some of you are straight up OG from way back at the beginning. And I want you to know that I will never, ever just stop making content. I will film a video and tell you that this is the end or whatever, but I have no intention of doing that anytime soon, or I wouldn't have just purchased a computer and a new camera to improve the quality of my channel yet again. I want to make more types of content, whether it's spooky or reading to you or rambling or coloring or kinetic sand or soap cutting or whatever. You guys have helped me in innumerable ways, and I will never, ever, ever be able to repay you or say thank you enough. So, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you so, so much for being there for me, for sticking with me, even though I only post every 2 weeks. And I just want you to know that someone in the world is grateful you exist today. Thank you again. I'll see you